Hello all, and welcome to Tweaks for Freaks. I shall be your host for the night, End of the Road Haunts. This is the show where we take some animatronics and props, questionable in their makeup, give them some tweaks, and turn them into the horrifying freaks they were destined to be. So join me as we pick a prop that we shall do this to. So, you've seen the intro, we know what we do on this series, and this is the second episode to Tweaks for Freaks. And in this one, I will be covering a prop that I have quite a bit of issues with, and it was released this year. You know which one I'm talking about, because A, I've made a meme video about him recently, B, because you've seen me tease him in the, most recent community post, and, C, because you probably saw the thumbnail, I'm guessing. Unless you didn't, which, how? But, today, we will be talking about and how to fix the Tombstone Terror from Spirit Halloween 2022. So, yeah, I have quite a few gripes with this guy. It's not an awful concept, don't get me wrong. I mean, popping up things behind tombstones aren't new, and they're not bad either, but this one was executed really poorly. He's really cheap, and his price is way too high for what you get. So today, I'll be trying to make him worth the money. Welcome back to the workshop. This is where we do the fixing for the props. So as you can see, I have it set up with a Tombstone Terror here. The first thing I like to change when it comes to props is the name. But honestly, Tombstone Terror is not an awful name. It's pretty okay, so you know what? I won't be changing the name. It's pretty alright. But the first thing, and arguably the biggest gripe I have with this guy, is the head. It's just a standard skull. Now that isn't a problem if there were to be a little, moss, or if it was the head of Barry or the grave grabber, that would be fine as well. But it literally looks like a dollar store skull. So, as much as this is originally a skull, this is my series, and personally when I think of Tombstone Terror, sure, living skulls are, pretty scary, but I have a different thought in mind. So I'll be replacing the head with this one, which comes from the Undead Hanging Head, made by Spirit for, I believe, 2017, maybe a few other years. But yes, I personally find this a way creepier head. I'd love to see something like this on a prop. And, if this was an animatronic, I don't think anybody would mind. Now, this next little point here for looks, though, isn't quite a big gripe I have. It's just something I think would be cool. I'm gonna skip over the tombstone. Honestly, the tombstone's pretty okay. I don't mind it. But something that I do think would be really cool for this is usually the head on Tombstone Terror is pretty small. So I think we get the jump scare to be more grand and noticeable. So for this, I'm gonna be adding a spine beneath that head. Now, I know Spirit wouldn't do this because it would probably take too much, be too hard to put a motor in, blah blah blah, but the spine could also just be short. So, I honestly don't see a big problem with this. Now, the audio for Tombstone Terror isn't abhorrent. It's not awful. Lots of props are ruined by the audio, but his is just alright. Although, I do think it could use a few tweaks. I find it to be very cartoony, and the laughing also, in my opinion, just doesn't work very well. So instead, I'm gonna be making it more monstrous and almost scary. Just using some, royalty-free sounds, cause why not? But, I just think that's one tweak he could use. Again, not that the current audio is awful, but I think it could use a bit of a tweak. Now, for the animation, you're probably expecting me to do something crazy, like make his head spin around, or make him, I don't know, his tombstone split open, but I'm not going to be doing any of that. In fact, the animation can just stay the same, but just a little more robust so it can get the head and spine above the tombstone. So, really not much. But anyways, it's time for another janky demo of the prop I fixed. Here it is. So, that was the demo. Let me know what you thought of what I tweaked, what you might tweak, if you even agree that Tombstone Terrace should have been tweaked, what you think of this series, and as always, like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.